Okay, so hopefully this is working now. Looks like the microphone should be working. Looks like it is. I don't know what was going on. All right, sorry about that. Probably lost everybody that was ever going to watch this, but.
Quick recap.
So we talked about Helmut Lang.
Yeah, and the rest of my fragrances. This one is extreme version. It's spicy
Polo Red.
smelling. Yeah, Polo Red. This
212 Black.
Black Extra.
I don't even remember the name of this brand.
212.
Carolina Herrera.
So there's the 212 fragrance, and then there's 212 Extra, which is the EDT, and then the VIP Black is the one I have, and it's like an MVP.
So what should we do next?
Oh, well, I guess we'll start with some of your fragrances, and what better than these cigar tubes?
The Cubas, yeah, we'll do those.
The Cubas. Do you want to explain anything about these bottles before you start?
Yeah, we'll just do them. I'm gonna say a little about each fragrance. I'm not gonna do like a big review of each one, obviously. I don't actually have all of them. I'm missing one, maybe. Anyway, I'm missing one.
How did you get these cigar bottles in the first place?
So these are the Cuba fragrances. If you guys have never seen them, I'm sure most of you have all seen these before. Cuba Gold, which is the most popular one, which smells like Le Male. So back when I was first starting to get into fragrances, I was looking for really cheap fragrances on FragranceNet, things that were like super, super inexpensive, but still had some value to them. And this was one that always popped up because it was like a $5 fragrance. And they said it smelled like Le Male, which I had always wanted to smell. And this is like a powdery vanilla kind of lavender based sort of fragrance. It's really nice. Pretty decent fragrance though. And then lately I've gotten the kick and started getting a ton of them. So I'll just go through them. These are the Cuba fragrances I have. Obviously gold. It's the gold standard, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Cuba Winter, which is supposed to be like an Invictus Aqua kind of clone. It's pretty good if you like Invictus. I mean, a lot of people do not like Invictus. Do you know this one? It's like very sweet and fresh kind of smelling. It's pretty nice. It's a good gym fragrance or something.
Yeah, it's very sporty smelling, kind of like young person-y.
So then we have Cuba Blue, which is, I think, supposed to be kind of like Azzaro Chrome and CK1 kind of mixed together. And this one gets a lot of flack from people because they say it smells very like synthetic or like bitter or something like that. And I found that it actually smells really pretty nice, actually. It's fresh and it does smell like CK1, but it has a little bit of like a sweet spice in it. The only thing with this one is there is some sort of really sharp green note at the top that sticks around for a little bit, and it reminds me of like Cuba, or reminds me of gray flannel, like that has that really super astringent sort of smell at the top. I don't know what it is in this fragrance that's causing that, but it doesn't really, but once you have this on yourself for like 20 minutes or so, that goes away, and it's a pretty decent fragrance. I could see that, yeah.
It makes you very like tense when you smell it because you know she's around.
So this one is Cuba Wild Heart, which is supposed to be a clone of Ed Hardy Luck and Love, which in itself is supposed to, I think, be a clone of Creed Milsim Imperial. So this one, I don't know either of those. Oh, great, my connection is unstable. All right, well, I hope you guys are still here. Awesome internet that we have here, folks.
Yeah.
We're back. Sorry, I have terrible internet. Terrible internet. Okay. Anyways, Cuba Wild Heart. I don't know Luck and Love or Milsim Imperial. I will say that this is a pretty generic, fresh, kind of aquatic style cologne with some sweetness thrown in. It's not bad. It's just very generic. Nothing really bad to say about it. It just smells like tons of freshy, sweet-esque sort of colognes I've smelled before.
So for me, of all the Cuba fragrances he's gotten,
this one is one of the most unique, I would say, though.
That's one of my most favorite. It is kind of weird.
Despite it being
despite it smelling generic, it's also unique, and then it's got all the generic scents in there. And yeah, that's all you have to say about that.
Okay, Cuba Red, which is kind of a lot of people say is like Burberry London, which is my favorite fragrance pretty much. This one came first, and it's a little more spicy and more of like a dry tobacco smell. It's a little less of that like sort of potpourri sort of port wine smell. Feel that one smell. It's a really nice fragrance though, and again, these are all like dirt cheap. Like they're some of the cheapest fragrances that you can get. It's very manly, yeah. And I had said before when I reviewed this that I liked this one so much that when I run out of Burberry London, my decant of that, I'll just use this.
Yeah, it's earthy, it's manly, it's almost like
it's really good for the fall too, I would say.
It's great for the fall, definitely.
Can you grab those canisters? Those are the other three Cubas.
Sure.
I have one more of his little cigar-shaped ones, then we get to the bigger ones. Having some trouble there? Oh, I'll take them. Okay. One last one is Cuba Royal, which I reviewed this one too. Thank you. It's a 1 million clone. Although, again, I think this one came first, so it's not really a clone. It's better than 1 million, in my opinion. It has less of the cloyingness and more of like a nice vanilla smell. These are the next ones. And yeah, it's obviously way cheaper. Just doesn't last as long. Really, really nice fragrance though.
Now, before we get into these, I was meaning to ask you. I like this.
That's nice. Spicy and sweet cinnamon and vanilla.
It smells like
yeah, it's a little more mature than the clubbing, like in your face of 1 million.
Now, I want to on me. I guess if you look at reviews, you'll see a lot of mixed reviews. And one of the reasons for that is you get people buying these products looking for cigars, and they see words like spicy and fragrant, and they get excited because they're going to get an expensive cigar that's only a few bucks. Then they get a fragrance in the mail and they get mad, so they leave bad reviews. But these are actually I wouldn't just go by the reviews looking at these. And I've been meaning to ask you how the atomizers are on these bottles.
Okay. So also, yeah, that's a really funny anecdote because if you go to Amazon and, like you said, read reviews, there's an astounding amount of people that are like, give it a 1-star rating, which brings the rating of the Cuba fragrance down. And it's people who are like, I thought this was a cigar and I got a fragrance. I mean, it smells good, but it's like, okay, do a little bit. I mean the picture for one glance could be deceiving, but if you read anything, it would not. There's no way that there could be any sort of confusion. Oh well, people.
Well, no, I order all the time. Like now, I mean, I can understand making a mistake.
I guess, yeah.
I ordered a wrong cover or something, or a wrong keyboard cover or something, but. I mean, confusing cigars for fragrances, that's...
All right, you want to talk about the atomizers. The atomizers on these little ones aren't very good. You probably won't even be able to see, probably can't even see that. They put out just a little bit of mist. They get the job done, but they're not that great. They're not great. They're not even really atomizers. They're more like spritzers, I would say. These are the bigger ones. And they come in these tubes. Pretty cool. I've showed these off before. These are better. They're still not amazing, but they're much more solid. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, size. This is like a 1.7 and a 3.3 or something like that. A pretty big size difference. And again, these still really aren't that much more expensive than those. So it's not like it's going to break the bank to get a bigger version of it if you like it. They're dirt cheap. Yeah, the atomizers are slightly better on these. They're still not the greatest atomizers. So I'm not really sure. I'll just talk about them. This is Cuba Brazil. These are some of the ones that aren't as well known. Cuba Brazil is another fresh fragrance, and it is kind of sweet with the fruitiness at the top, but it's not like Cuba Wild Heart, where it has like a berry or melon or something like that going on. It has like this weird combination of spices that smells kind of like fruity pebbles is the only way I could describe it. Like I do get a fruity pebble sort of vibe with it, while still being fresh and slightly green. So it's actually a pretty nice fragrance. I don't think it lasts very long from the few times I've worn it, but it's kind of unique. I don't really know anything that smells quite like it.
Okay.
Let's do Cuba Shadow. This is probably, of the big ones, this is probably my favorite and the one I wear the most.
Is this the more popular one?
I don't think so. I don't think a lot of people use this one. Cuba Shadow, which is kind of this gray coloring. Cuba Gray. Sorry, it's called Cuba Gray. Cuba Shadow's coming next. This is just a clone of Eternity by Calvin Klein. If you know that one, it's like a lavender vetiver, slightly soapy, kind of floral. It's
soapy to me.
Yeah. I would say that this is like 90% accurate clone. It's really a good clone. It's a little more musky, which I kind of actually like, and it smells a little bit more synthetic. But I've gotten great performance out of this one, and it smells so close to Eternity. Eternity is a really good spring scent, and to me, it's a really good like rainy day scent. So Cuba Gray, this one gets probably of these bigger bottles the most wear. And then we'll do the last one of the big bottles, which is Cuba Shadow, which is, again, cool packaging always with these. Although the sticker's kind of coming off. Cuba Shadow. It's supposed to just be a Bleu de Chanel clone. And I don't really know Bleu de Chanel that much because I was never into it, but it's kind of like a very generic aquatic style floral based cologne with sweeter at the top, and then as it starts to dry down, it becomes a bit more like peppery.
Yeah.
This one,
light blue by Gucci. And I imagine.
Or Dolce and Gabbana.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Dolce and Gabbana. And I imagine it smells very similar.
Yeah, like this one's a little less peppery, I think.
Yeah, probably. It's just generic.
It's not. This one isn't that great to me. It dries down really fast. It's okay. Like it's a change from like Aqua di Gio or something, but I'm not crazy about this one. So those are my Cuba fragrances. Oh no, I have one more. Sorry, that weird one, the cigar shaped one. Yeah, this is my favorite Cuba fragrance I own.
Yeah, it's probably.
This is Cuba Prestige. Haven't done a review yet. This is like a clone of Angel Men by Terry Mugler, and it's, again, I don't know that fragrance, but I've heard people say it's a very good clone. Regardless of how good or close it is to being a clone, this one just smells awesome. It's like a caramel and vanilla gourmand, and then as it dries down, it gets a lot of like a weird sort of sweet patchouli and wood and everything and pepper. It's very, very unique and very good. This is definitely my favorite Cuba fragrance I've ever tried. And there's other ones in flankers, like there's Cuba Prestige Classic and Legacy, and then there's like Black, I think, and Platinum. I haven't tried those, and I don't know if they're flankers or they just use the same shape. But this one is awesome. And I think this fragrance, I could be wrong, but I think it actually caused Terry Mugler to lower the MSRP on Angel Man because so many people were just buying this because it was cheaper. So they ended up actually lowering the price.
A little bit, but I just want to emphasize how cheap these colognes are. These Cubas.
Yeah, they're about $5, $5 to $10
for this cigar-shaped bottle, which is a fantastic price for what I would say are definitely great quality fragrances.
They're not all
not
great.
Like
some are not good, but
not even top shelf, but they smell like just fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no real reason to complain.
Again, I think it's funny. Like this, I feel like we're doing like a home shopping network.
Right.
But I'm not. I ain't
I'm
selling any of these. He's nuts, but he's.
I'm selling them. So this is.
He's not.
So moving
we'll do these all fragrances. Yeah.
Was kind of fragrances.
Let's do these.
I've seen them a couple times in your collection. I've never actually taken the time to.
So I used to have a bunch more of these all fragrances, and I used them all. I've reviewed them all. And then we'll actually quickly, well, this is going to be a long one, but we'll talk about my thing with alt fragrances if you guys are curious. I'll just go through these quickly because I have like shitloads of fragrances to do, so I don't want to spend too much time.
I know. I'm curious about it.
All fragrances suds, which is a newer one, which is supposed to smell like Dove White soap.
It smells like Dove White soap. It smells like, kind of like Dove White soap.
I don't think it smells quite like Dove White soap.
It smells like soap.
But it smells like soap.
And I would understand why somebody would claim that it smells like Dove White soap.
And it does have this weird cloying sensibility to it at the top, but is really kind of not nice. But when it dries down, it starts to smell like a cross between like Nag Champa and dryer sheets or soap or something. So it's okay. There's a lot of people, that would probably hate this, but I know a lot of people that would really enjoy this one. Okay, we'll do this one, which is Alt Fragrances Executive Cologne. Their executive fragrance is their take on Aventus, and that's their most popular one, and this is just the Aventus cologne. And I've never smelled Aventus, the real one, or Aventus cologne, but if I'm going to compare this to their Aventus cologne, this is not that great. It's like Aventus with the balls taken out of it. Like it has the smoky birchwood just ripped out, and it's more of the freshness. It gets a little more masculine on the dry down, but it's just like a super fresh. It doesn't smell bad. It's just so boring. And I can see why people were really angry when Aventus cologne came out. There was like a lot of people who were pissed off that it didn't smell all that impressive, and that it was like, Creed fragrances are so expensive, like they're ripping us off. So I can totally see why people were angry, because this fragrance is just boring.
It is.
I don't even know why I bought it.
I guess
Let's try this last one. This one is called Farouche, and it is a Sauvage cologne, and it's very good. It smells a lot like Sauvage, but it's smoother, and it has more of like the vanilla pushing through. So I would say it might be closer to the Eau de Parfum. I think I've worn the Eau de Parfum before, but I feel like it has less pepper. It still does have pepper in it, which is nice, because Ventana by Armaf, that's a really good Sauvage cologne I've reviewed that doesn't have pepper, and I kind of like that kick. I would say that this is basically Sauvage with a little more of the vanilla and smoother. It has less of that Ambroxan kick. So it does smell really nice. It's actually got a little bit of woodiness in it that I don't get from Sauvage. It's its own thing, kind of. It is a very close clone, but it doesn't last long at all, and that's a problem with all these alt fragrances. And so I'll get into my little alt fragrances spiel that I've done before, but they always like take people's reviews down that aren't positive and everything, and I've had the back and forth with them, and they kind of just have always seem to have done the wrong thing with me and kind of rubbed me the wrong way, so I don't buy from them anymore. And they are all Eau de Parfums, but they don't last long at all, like 4 hours maximum. Oh, and I do have the alt executive here. I guess I didn't show that one, which is their Aventus one. And again, like I said, I've never smelled Aventus, but it's really nice. Pineapple smell at the top, the smoky birchwood, some pepper. It's a nice, clean, handsome scent. I can't really complain about it. What should we do next?
Well, I don't know your plan about so many people right here. These Distillery Series bottles, they're all very similar in size. I really like this lighter one.
Oh yeah, Alabama Moonshine. I've talked about some of these. These are little fragrances. They're little versions, but you could buy these. A lot of people were talking about them last year in the fall. You could buy them at Walmart, and they're okay. They have absolutely terrible little spritzers on them, but the juice was pretty decent. Really kind of bad longevity, but they smell okay. The Alabama Moonshine one was kind of like a gin and lime kind of smell with some wood. That one was pretty nice, actually. Not bad. Let's see another one.
I like this one.
Kentucky bourbon. Yeah, this one was my favorite. It was like a nice vanilla with woods and some musk in it. This is very nice. You have the cap for this one?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't care for these two.
This, I think I actually talked about this one and reviewed it. Let's see.
This is very perfumey, alcoholic smelling.
Tennessee whiskey.
Um,
Oh yeah. I don't remember this one. I don't know. I guess I haven't worn this one. I definitely didn't
this
review
one
it.
with New York.
You were crying.
So, if I'm from New York, me personally, and when I smelled that, since I was excited,
It doesn't remind you of New York
it does
in
not
any way.
remind- Yeah, the smell of cologne has nothing to do with New York, in my opinion.
Yeah, I reviewed this one. And people talked about this one a little more because they were like, "Oh, is it an Aventus clone?" Because it had like a pineapple and kind of birchwood smell to it. I think that's what they were trying to do, kind of, but it doesn't. It's like kind of leathery and it's okay. It's not as great as I originally thought it was. It's kind of pineapple leather smell, but the pineapple dissipates really quick and it goes to like some woody leather smell, and it smells a little bit medicinal too.
Mhm.
These ones were fine.
All right, like you I like was missing. Their sprayers are god awful.
They're bad.
Don't get these with like high hopes of.
These come in bigger bottles though. I don't even know if you can buy these anymore because when everyone was talking about them and buying them, like I wonder if that company even makes them anymore. I don't know. Yeah,
I want to talk
we
about,
got a lot of fragrances to talk about here.
yeah, I want to talk about probably the biggest part of your collection.
Yeah.
The Happy Land Studio.
Yeah, let's put them here on wall.
All right, sure. So this is one thing for this is about 15 fragrances I have in my hands. All these little vials. I'm gonna place them next to him.
You guys know this company. I've talked about them. I'll go through them kind of quickly. E.J. Wells. A lot of you guys know him. He makes these colognes, and they're parfum extracts. They're super powerful and potent. They're fairly inexpensive, and they all smell pretty good. EJ is actually sick right now, so EJ, if you end up seeing this for whatever reason, I hope you get well, man. Okay, we'll go through these quick. I don't have all of these Happy Land ones. They're really cool when they come out because it's like a kind of like collecting thing. It kicks in. He's got 3 new ones that I haven't smelled. Plum Loco. This one seems to be one of the most popular ones. Sorry, I hate this one. I really don't like this. It's plum and leather and some spices. The leather is ultra strong. I mean, it's like animalistic, bordering on gasoline style leather.
Yeah.
If you like leather, you probably will like it a lot, but I can't. It's way too strong. And hey, if you guys that are watching, thanks for stopping in. I hope that you stick around and enjoy this. Grab a drink. I got a drink, and we'll chat when this is over.
Paint thinner or diesel.
It does kind of smell like that, and I don't mean to say that in a disrespectful way, but it does.
I love leather.
It does really smell like that.
Leather's one of my favorite scents, but this was a Plum Loco.
Yeah.
Really takes the leather and shoves it down your throat.
Let's move it along.
All right.
We'll do Blue Fire. This one I reviewed, very unique. Like a kind of fresh, sort of like tea note with some powdery iris and strawberry, and then this gin note that is boozy in a fresh sort of way. Super unique. Like I have not smelled a cologne that smells even close to this. It's totally a love or hate it cologne. I wouldn't call it like a summer freshie because it's so unique and out there and not what you would expect for a summer cologne, but I think that's what it's intended for. Do you know this one? I mean, I really like this cologne, but it's totally hit or miss. Super. Oh, really?
Kind of like it.
I've never smelled anything like it.
Yeah, it's kind of well, it doesn't matter.
All right.
This is my favorite fragrance of the Happy Land Studio collection.
This one seems to be a favorite of a lot of people. This one is Paisley Sky, and it's
no, I don't like. I like Happy Land Signature, but
this one is good too. Though.
This is the fragrance. sweet fragrances before got back to New York, and then ever since I moved back to New York, and you've been doing these videos and showing me more sweet fragrances. This Paisley Sky was the fragrance that got me into sweet fragrances.
You know, it's interesting because when I see people talk about this a lot, I mean, from what I've seen, I don't see a lot of people commenting on its sweetness. I see a lot of people commenting on like the oud, and there is oud in here, and it does make it smell a bit smoky at the top, but it's totally wearable still, and it does have a patchouli in the dry down, which is nice, but it is very sweet at the top. And I looked at the ingredients, and it wasn't berries or anything. It was like a mixture of flowers, but it smells like, pardon me, like candied berries or something. And I actually sorry, I'm dying here. This one I actually don't know if I like. Like, I have worn it, and it does smell nice on people, but to me, when I wear it on myself, it almost comes across like toothpaste for some reason, or something strange. Like, it does smell nice. I like it on other people and stuff, but on me, it's like too much. And it's not the oud, because that is the thing that people always talk about, but something off. Yeah. All right, we'll do Amberland next. Amberland is super rich amber accord with some vanilla, and it's got some lavender, I think, in there to keep it a little fresh. It's not hyper gourmandish, but I would still call it a gourmand, even though it has that freshness in there. Nice one.
It's nice. This is a good example of you don't. Sometimes like you don't need like for us, you can be subtle about fragrance and still have it make its point. That's what I get from this.
So this one is Queer Cafe. This is another one of his fragrances that I just don't like at all. It's because of that leather note again that is so strong. Leather and coffee. Really nice coffee smell, but the leather is just like way too much for me. I can't stand that one. It's not for me.
This is why I handed you that one.
This one I like.
It's the same thing for me.
Too much.
It's too much. It's not coffee. It's more of a note of like kind of Christmas cookie.
It's like pumpkin pie spice.
Yeah.
This is home for the holidays, or home for the holidays.
But it really hits you.
Very popular one too, I think, and it's just basically like a maple coffee with like some pumpkin pie spice and gingerbread sort of smell. I think it's really nice, and I think it's like a really good fragrance to wear for those holiday seasons. But if you don't like coffee, you're obviously not going to like it. And yeah, that pumpkin pie spice note is kind of strong in it, but it's still, it's not something I'm going to wear all the time, but it's definitely a holiday one. We have Cravate Noir, which is one of my favorites in the line.
Like everyday
fragrance. Yep, exactly. It's actually a sort of take on YSL Tuxedo, I think, and that he said that he amped it up in all the right spots, and it's basically just kind of like a slightly like fougere, woody sort of fragrance with some vanilla in it. Super easy to wear, super smooth and masculine and a little sweet. Great for anything. This is one of my favorite ones.
We have and in Irish. Yeah, I wanted.
Okay, so it's Irish Tobacco is my problem scent in Happy Land's line that I have, because when I first ordered fragrance is true, yes. When I first ordered a sample pack of these clones, this one arrived leaking, and it leaked all over the package and everything.
Yeah,
and I would say that this is one of the most potent colognes in his entire line. So the juice was everywhere, and it's like I can't get rid of it, and I keep it in my medicine cabinet, and when you open the cabinet, you're just blasted with it. And so I think because of that, I got like assaulted with it when I first ordered these, that it's too much for me now. So this one is, green Irish tweed mixed with a tobacco smell, which it does pretty well, but I think it's just too strong for me. And I think that because I got like anosmic almost to it or whatever. Yeah, and this one, I mean, it smells really, really good, but it just leaks all the time. And I will say, as much as I'm praising these, that's a huge problem with this company. Unfortunately, is that every single order I've made has had leaking bottles, and it's because these little decant bottles just aren't. I think the bottles, the way that they're built, are made well. They leak very easily, so that's always been a problem with me with this company. Unfortunately,
They are, however, glass. And
Yeah.
They do have wonderful editing.
yeah, they do. They
But they do leak.
not every single bottle leaks, but every order I've put in has had a leaking bottle.
So for me, Irish tobacco, very, very fresh smelling. It's one of those like, if you want to feel fresh, like right after you get out of the shower,
Yeah, definitely. It
Oh,
sounds
so
like
Irish
green Irish
tobacco.
tea.
you're like very confident. And Homeland,
What's that one?
Homeland is out of the midi box.
Oh.
Right?
I'll do this one real quick.
Okay.
This was one of the newer ones a couple months ago. Came out with Amberland. Love or hate, I think. It definitely smells like very, very dated, old school kind of sort of fougere sort of fragrance, like associated with the barber shop or something maybe. Very bright citrus and orange smell at the top, which smelled almost like the sort of citruses in 4711. But then just you get like spicy vetiver sort of thing. It's very masculine. I like it, though I think it is like a lot of these almost are too strong sometimes. So I do like this, but it's just very overpowering at times.
Now, I actually like the
I'll talk about that one next.
And Happy Lane does have their own barbershop. I actually prefer Homeland to their barbershop personally, but
I did a review on Barbershop, which is this one, and I said I really liked it. I didn't like it at first, and then I ended up liking it. I still like it. I just think that it's not my ideal barbershop scent because it has that leather note. I think he uses the same leather note in all of his fragrances, and it is just so overpowering. Now, when I can get past the leather and it starts drying down, I do start to get shaving soap and classic barbershop scent. But if you don't like leather, this one is going to be very hard to wear. I think I have one more. Three more. Okay. Wow. I got more fragrances than I thought I did when I laid them out, but that's always the case. Sure. Rhyolite. I did a review of this one. I like this one. It's sweet toasted almonds and honey and kind of like vanilla and white musk. It's very sweet. It's very wearable, but some guys might find it, too sweet for them, but I like it. It's not my favorite I've ever worn. What do we got? 7. I like this one. It's in like sort of spicy amber accord, and it almost smells a little bit like Old Spice to me, a little bit. This one, Homeland, wherever it was. Homeland definitely has that old vibe, but it doesn't smell like kind of like Old Spice. This one has an Old Spice smell with more of a modern vibe, if that makes sense. Yeah, I like this one. And it even gets a little soapy too at times. One more.
Oh,
This one's my favorite in the whole line.
yeah.
This is probably his best fragrance, and this is Happy Line Signature. It's like the greatest gourmand I've ever smelled in my life. It is like tobacco drizzled with honey, with blueberries and spices. And then as it dries down, the tobacco comes out, and you get this like spicy tobacco. And there's almost like a little bit of pepper or something masculine like ambergris or something in there. And it starts to smell a little more like a men's cologne. It's probably one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. I would, if I could buy a thing like that big of it, I would. It's one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled.
Reminds me of like I just want to.
Yeah, let's do these decants.
So,
Here, why don't we put
I'm
some?
gonna save this for the last.
Oh,
I
okay.
have a legend, but the other ones, so here's Arrows flavor set. Oops.
You broke it. Yeah, they're not decants; they're samples.
Oh,
Yeah.
well now my thumb
Smells like Versace Eros.
smells like Arrows. Oh my god, that's strong.
Yeah, you might want to wash your hand.
Yeah.
Versace Eros. A lot of people know this one. Of course, this is a popular one. It's like it was a clubbing fragrance. It's like minty lavender with some vanilla and stuff. I haven't worn it in a while. It's nice.
All right.
Just
right now.
dumped it all over your head. Let's do this one.
All right.
Oh, we'll do that one after. We'll do that one. Probably best. Alien Man.
Alien Man.
This is a sample. These are samples too, if you haven't. Alien Man is awesome. I love this one. This is one that I want a full bottle of, and I just never got it. I don't know why. People didn't like Alien Man when it came out because it smelled a little bit like a generic cologne. And you know, Alien, the female one, was so revolutionary, and I think they were expecting something like out of this world, no pun intended. I could see where people were coming from with it, but I think it smells awesome. It is a sort of generic, slightly fresh men's cologne, but then it has the Mugler twist where it has like a dark richness to it. And there's like sweet flowers and the dry down, and there's a smoky, I don't want to say it might be oud, but there's like a smoky campfire vibe that goes on with this one. And this is one I would love a bottle of. I don't have one, but it's one of my favorites in my collection that I've never gotten a bottle of.
How about this one here, light blue?
Light blue. Don't know what to say. I just have a sample of light blue. It's not one of my favorite fragrances.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, not if you like it, then fine. But I'm not a big fan of that one. I don't like fresh aquatic ones too much.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this? Azzaro Chrome Aqua. This one was really popular when it came out, and a lot of people were talking about it last year. I think last year it came out. I like this one. It's a fresh aquatic cologne with some grapefruit in it, and it smells nice. Don't know if I would buy a full bottle because I'm not, super into that thing, but I like it. I wore it. This one is Acqua di Gio Absolute, which is, and I like rotate, so I really ration my samples. Like a lot of people just use it until it's gone. But I have just a little bit left in this one because I really like this one. It's very sweet. You don't like it? Yeah, I like this one. It's definitely generic, but and a lot of people didn't like it because they were like, "What the fuck is this? It doesn't smell like Acqua di Gio." I think it does in the dry down, but at the top, it is kind of like that generic style clubbing store sort of thing. Maybe a little smoother. I like it. What do we got next?
How about Euphoria?
Oh, yeah, that's the expensive shit.
Yeah, that's.
So this is like I did a review of this already, but this is the one that I have to like ration. This is Euphorium Brooklyn. The fragrance is called Wald. That's the Euphorium Brooklyn is the company. Not a lot of people know about this company. They're niche. They are do like old style apothecary style marketing and design. It smells like the forest, like floor, like damp moss, and you can even smell like cooking meat in it and stuff. I don't like that part of the fragrance, but it's one of the best foresty style fragrances on the market. It smells super niche. It's the best way I could describe it. It's very high quality oil. It's one of the best of that I've smelled. It's just very expensive. Burberry Brett Rhythm, which is, I haven't reviewed this one. It's the flanker of that. And I think it had sweeter, or I don't even remember this one.
It's like perfume. And like, so I guess you want to be like,
Burberry Brett. Splash. Sort of fresher take on it. It was okay. Not much to say about that. Burberry Brit is also one that kind of grew on me a little. I wasn't like head over heels for it, but it grew on me.
I can see what people don't like. That will grow on me.
Oh, Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male. Yeah. Classic. But this is the one that is supposed to smell like this one, which they smell very similar. I actually, excuse me, went back and forth And for a while, I liked Le Mans more. But I think I like Cuba Gold.
This is your file, and the one we saved for the ending because I noticed another bottle that said legend on it. And
Oh.
I didn't know if it was a coincidence or something.
No, they're two different fragrances. This is Mont Blanc Legend. I think I reviewed this last year. I didn't like this. It was too musky. Not my taste.
How about this legend?
This one's good. This is Michael Jordan Legend, which came before, I think, Rocha Man, which is something I've reviewed on my channel before too, which is a nice gourmand. Chocolate and vanilla and kind of coffee. I don't ever get coffee, it's listed. And spices and stuff. A nice like lavender in the top. And this one's actually an eau de cologne, but it lasts as long as an EDT for me. So
How does that work?
Well, I don't know. It just
Depends on.
it's always lasted long as the same as an EDT. And this one to me smells almost identical to Rocha Man, so I like it. Let's do these decants
Oh,
too.
you know what? You're right. You're right. These fragrances. Yeah, when you talk about
We'll do decants now, people.
yeah, going into cans now.
Miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Hope excuse me, I'm dying. I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, you've been a great audience. What a terrific audience. All right.
As I make the whole thing disappear.
So when you talk about manly scents, I like to talk about this one above all others, Fahrenheit.
Yes. So this is a decant. I have a Fahrenheit by Dior, but it's the Parfum version. Daniel-san actually sent this to me. You guys should know who that is. It's not the EDT that we all know and love. It's the Eau de Parfum, or well, it's just called Parfum. And I don't think they make it anymore.
Now, did we review this or is this the extra? Is this a different version?
No, it's different. I'll get to that.
Okay.
This one is definitely sweeter, has a much sweeter vibe, and it has some alcoholic notes in it, like rum and bourbon. And it's much richer than the original, and it doesn't really have that gasoline note. I don't really get that famous gasoline note. I think it's really nice. It's very a nice. You're like, it's it's really nice and really rich. It's a nice take on Fahrenheit, but do I like it as much as the original? No, because that gasoline note is kick ass in Fahrenheit, man. But this is a great fragrance. Very expensive though, and like I said, they don't make it anymore, I don't think. So I'm really gonna save this. But a very nice fragrance. Yeah, this is one of my favorite fragrances ever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Prada Amber Pour Homme, which a lot of people know. And it's a very soapy smelling. It smells like a luxurious, super high class bar soap. And I think people said that it's discontinued, which is horseshit if that's true, because this soap or this cologne is awesome. And the other amazing soapy cologne is Mugler cologne, and I think that they discontinued that too. So it's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? That's why I was interested in that Patrick cologne, because it's supposed to smell like soap, and it's like, so this smells like high class soap. It's amazing. I think it's discontinued. They're discontinuing all the Gonzaga fragrance 206. Hope you're doing well, East River G3. Thanks as always for the content, and congrats on 200 subs, buddy. Well deserved. Thanks so much, man.
Who's this?
Gonzaga fragrances. I hope I'm saying that right.
Cool.
Thank you so much for watching, dude. I appreciate it. Dream Machine, dude. We are in the middle of just going through all of my fragrances, man. Just for fun. And then we can
Right now it's miscellaneous.
just doing decants. And well, we don't have to stick to a script, obviously. We can chat.
Talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I think this one because I've heard him talk about it before.
Oh yeah, this is Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. It's nice. It's vanilla with an alcoholic note like bourbon or something at the top, and some woodiness. And it's good. It's not overly sweet, which I find that some Tom Fords tend to get really sweet, the unisex ones. But this one's right on the money. Totally great winter fragrance. I got this one accidentally sent to me too, which I thought was funny.
This one seems
Burberry London. What a surprise. You know, my favorite one. Yeah, it smells like Christmassy tree with like leaves and spices and cinnamon, and then it has
some
wine.
blueberry in there.
I didn't smell any blueberry. I love Burberry London.
It's pretty good.
Loam is great by YSL. Yeah,
Mhm.
soapy and clean, gingery apple. Ginger apples. It's just good. It's a great clean fragrance to wear to like a work or a wedding.
So might as well do La Nuit.
Yeah, La Nuit de L'Homme,
Yeah, that's the one.
the flanker of that everybody loves. Everybody loves this fragrance.
Ooh, big deal.
Big fucking deal, man. No, I like this fragrance. I just don't love it. It's like I don't know. People go crazy for this fragrance. It smells nice, but it's okay to me. It's pleasing and pleasant, and it's fine. I've never been like head over heels for that shit.
Yeah, it's never made me want to go down.
I prefer L'Homme on its own.
Well, this is so.
Oh, this is just your Sauvage.
Oh,
Yeah.
now we're on to models.
Oh, and I had Ultramall in there somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Ultramall, I probably like messed something up.
Oh, it's okay. I don't need to talk about it. Ultramall. I have a decant of that. It's like impossible to wear. Excuse me. I reviewed it and I really liked it, even though it's extremely sweet. It's like outrageously sticky sweet at the top. It's like pear and vanilla and wood and like sandalwood or something. It's ultra sweet, but it smells nice. But I can't wear it because it goes it projects like a monster, and then if it's hot out, it's like too much. So I can't really wear it, but it smells nice. We'll get into my actual full bottles now. You never go black.
Talk about go black.
Oh, go black. These are Belcam fragrances, which is a clone house you can buy at Walmart. But you can also get them on Amazon, and they're hit or miss. Some are terrible, but a lot of them are actually really good, and they're super cheap. So this one is supposed to be like Acqua di Gio Profumo, Gel Black. I'm not going to spray it. It doesn't really smell like Acqua di Gio Profumo. It smells like a bottle of cheap Acqua di Gio knockoff that had something go wrong with it. I don't recommend this one. It was only like $4. So. Here's Acqua di Gio, the most popular fragrance of all time.
The one that you would buy.
Yeah, I like Acqua di Gio, and I have this bottle, and I still wear it. What can be said? It's boring sometimes, but sometimes it's nice. Let's do Savage by Dyer. Okay, it's going to be backwards, but this is Savage by Dyer. This is a fragrance that no one's ever heard of before. It's like $500 a bottle.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
no one's ever actually reviewed this.
I actually don't even know if I want to show this one on camera.
Yeah.
Because I'm like one of 10 people in the world that own a bottle of Savage by Dyer. So I'm actually not going to say any more, or else I might get a visit in the middle of the night. Sorry. Okay, Volatile, another Belcam fragrance, and this one's a clone of Spice Bomb, and it's super nice, and it's pretty close. It changes a little bit. It becomes more dated, maybe, or more mature, with like a leathery tobacco sort of smell. But it's awesome. It smells really good. It's a very good cheap fragrance. Which is pretty much what it is, 4711, which was the original Eau de Cologne. I know it's not the actual original, but that's what they said for a while. I think this one came out in late 1700s. So this is the OG cologne. If you guys have never smelled it, it's like super citrusy and clean. It smells really. I love it. It's old school smelling.
It's smelling when you smell it, you understand why colognes today smell
Yeah.
the way they smell.
It
Because of this bottle right here.
it
It's the exact bottle.
yeah. I mean, I got it just because it's a historical sort of clone. The only problem with it is that it has the worst longevity of any clone ever made. It lasts maybe like 2 minutes, and I'm not saying like 2 minutes and then, oh, I guess it's a skin scent. No, 2 minutes and it's gone. So you can't wear this as your scent of the day. Neroli Portofino is what you would want to get or something like that. But this smells great and it's very refreshing. So maybe wear it as an aftershave.
I wear it as like
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yeah. Centaur or Centaur. I don't know. Did you change your name? I don't know. How's it going, buddy? It's great to see you. It really is. I'm doing excellent.
The fragrance life stinks.
I do. Very, very clever.
All right, since I dropped the other fragrance
Yeah.
under the bed, can you do this one?
Well, I changed it. Oh, okay, cool, man. Is it Centaur? Oh, like a centaur. Oh, I get it. Very clever, man. That's awesome. Anyways, I hope you're doing great, dude, and I'm so glad that you could stop in. Because I don't know, it's 200 subscribers might not seem like a lot, but to me, it's pretty cool. So I figured I would do a live stream to thank everybody. I'm going through my fragrance collection, and I went through like 60 fragrances already, but I have like a couple more.
I might subscribe after this live stream.
Wow, thanks, man. That would mean a lot.
I'm not sure.
That's good. Good thing I did it. This is Classic Match by Belcam. It's a Obsession clone, and it's like, I think I paid like $5 for this at Walmart, and it is like the best Obsession clone ever. And people have said that it smells like old school vintage Obsession, and it does smell different than Obsession a little bit. So, maybe it does smell like the vintage one, but it's a little dated, but sometimes I really like Obsession. It's very gentleman-like. So I like that one. Primitive Man. Yeah, this is a clone of Savage by Dyer, which I already said I cannot talk about because it's one of the rarest fragrances on the planet. So I can't talk about this one either. Okay.
For like your colognes, but
Those
some
two.
other shit.
Oh yeah. So those don't grab by the bottle, the cap, because they'll come off.
Yes. Beard oil. I don't know if everyone in the chat can see. I'm growing a little bit of a beard.
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay, cool. And he's been using this oil and he insists I use it daily because it exfoliates and nourishes the skin underneath your beard while you grow it. So it's imperative that if you want good beard health and longevity, that you use it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you don't really use an oil and you have a thick beard, you will dry the skin out underneath. So it's more for that. You'll notice when you shave your beard, you'll have a lot of dry skin. I just figured I'd include this because I've never actually talked about this company. I have been meaning to make a review. They're called the American Made Beard Co. They're a really, really small company. Like, I think they just started last year. Super small. Like, as small as you can get, I think, in terms of a company. But I like helping out small companies. So look them out. Look them up on Instagram. I think that would probably be the best place to check them out if you have a beard and need beard oil. The reason I bought it, number one, because look at that bottle. It's like a shiny purple bottle. This one's called Dark Matter, the scent. And they do scented beard oils. A lot of beard oils are just like sandalwood scented, which is fine, but I wanted something a little more cologne-like because obviously it's me. So this one just kind of smells like I think it's supposed to smell like Milsim Imperial. It's very fresh, nice cologne, a little sweet. It's awesome. It's a really good beard oil, and So American Made Beard Co. I've never spoke about them before, but I'm not sponsored by them, but I would absolutely suggest that if you have a beard, you check them out because they make really nice scented beard oils. And I have a couple more little samples that I'll have to get to. Yeah, they're awesome.
I've used this for 1 month. I've never used beard oil before.
And yeah, besides this, it's smelling, having all these cool fragrance like smells. It's a good oil. It'll.
I just want to see how I smell. Powerful and how this oil that smells fun. And it's oily and the other fragrances, or it doesn't really have any notes that stand out against your body wash or the cologne or aftershave you choose to wear. It kind of just blends with your natural fragrance.
Yeah, it's pretty mild. One thing I will say about it is that I would compare the strength of it probably to like an aftershave. For a beard oil, that's pretty good. So people are not really going to smell it on you unless they kind of come in close.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be like something that's going to dissipate in 10 minutes. It'll probably last a good half an hour to an hour. And you obviously don't want a beard oil smell to last the whole day.
Yeah.
But it lasts long enough where you get to enjoy the smell. That's not something it's going to fall off. Also, I think it was like $15, which is a pretty good price because this will last you a very long time.
Yeah.
And then I just got the 2 aftershaves.
Yeah,
Aha.
now I use this, not the white bottle, but I use this Lozione.
Oh, you use this aftershave?
I do.
It's
use
good,
Lozione.
right?
I like it. Well, I thought you wanted.
That's weird.
Well, no. I get a crappy beard if I don't take care of it properly.
Oh well, I mean, aftershave definitely helps for like cleaning out like an antiseptic. I shave with a double-edged safety razor. Just one razor blade with a heavy handle. I don't use like the cartridge thing. And I have a boar head brush that I whip up the soap, and I use just Parazzo red. They have Parazzo green, white, red, and blue, I think. I thought I would include it because it's like awesome fragrance. I have Parazzo red soap that I use for shaving, and this is the aftershave, and it's like a sweet, almost a little bit sweet sandalwood with, I don't know, it's very old school Italian barber smell. So you have to enjoy that sort of dated smell. But to me, it's like, it smells amazing.
But after she got the you that like by the mouthwash.
Oh, like skin saver or whatever.
Yeah.
Skin bracer.
Yeah, something like that. But this is like it's
What,
like aftershave actually wearing like not to wear it because you have to.
Centaur fragrances. You said which aftershave brand is the best? I've never had one. I mean,
my brand and show you that it's not as good as these.
It's all right. I mean, I would say Parazzo. I mean, I'm a little biased because it's what I use. I would say that it's an excellent aftershave.
Yeah.
It's not super like liquidy. Like it's a little bit oily, which is kind of nice. So it kind of goes on a little easier. And the smell is amazing, and it's pretty cheap. If you like older school, like I said, like yeah, this is like definitely a higher class aftershave. Although, like I said, it's not that expensive. It's going to, I don't know, make you smell dapper. It's
a bunch of different
yeah.
aftershaves. My favorite by far that I've ever used.
Yeah, it's not your typical,
No.
grocery store aftershave. Yeah, they're nice. There's tons. I mean, if you know, I don't know if you know Daniel San Centaur, but he has like, he's really into aftershaves, and he could tell you some really good ones. And then I did have another one. This does have alcohol, so there will be a little bit of a burn. I have this other one, which, by the way, look at this screwed up label. This is just the Parazzo white. This is more like a lotion, but it's a little thinner than a typical lotion. And this one is just good if you don't like alcohol, and it's just has a nice citrus smell. Smells amazing, and it definitely helps for. I would recommend this if you don't like the alcohol, and this also will help if you cut yourself. It's very calming, cooling, and it will stop the bleeding. So this one's good too. If I accidentally cut myself, I'd recommend this one, but this one's smell is really nice. Those are the two. There's also a green one which is menthol, minty menthol. If you're into that, that's all my fragrances. I think that's all of them though. That's all.
It seemed like more.
It seemed like more, but I mean, it is like over 60 fragrances. Yeah, so there's a lot. I'll tell you guys the fragrances I want to try. I mean, I have so many, right? But I still do want to try a couple. I wanted to try, yeah, I did want to try Stronger With You Intensely by Armani, Imperial Armani. And then I wanted to try the Givenchy, the Gentleman Only. That one sounded interesting. And then a company called Fragrances of Ireland. They have a fragrance called Patrick, and that's supposed to smell a lot like Irish Spring. So I was saying, and I love the smell of Irish Spring. So it's supposed to smell very close to that, maybe a little more refined, but have that soapy vibe. So that one I really want to try, and that one's a cheap one too. So is Givenchy Gentleman Only. It's a little more, but yeah. So those are the fragrances I want to try. Yeah, that's all. That's all my fragrances, dudes and ladies. That was way more than I thought. You guys have any questions or anything? Now we can just kind of chat about whatever you guys want. Now that I got that out of the way. Trying to see which ones I wear the most. You know, it's interesting too because I'm thinking, like, looking at all these, like, I wonder which ones I use the most. And like, I don't know. I personally, like, what would be next for me would be probably Patrick by Fragrances of Ireland. I really want to try that one. It sounds like super up my alley. Irish Spring kind of soapy smell. Oh yeah, your helmet long.
So I usually take like like
This one's so good.
it's an incredible fragrance. Helmet long.
Quiron, yeah, the EDP.
Yeah, the EDP, the unisex one, not the floral.
Which are two different fragrances.
Yeah,
what I've
the
kind of.
florals of EDC doesn't. I mean, some EDCs, like you said, mentioned on Michael Jordan S one. I didn't want to take a risk, especially if you're dropping $250+ for a bottle. You don't want to like buy something you're not sure of or don't want. And I didn't buy a tester for this, but I've had Stronger With You Intensely by Armani, Imperial Armani, for before, and someone stole it from me, and I've always missed it. Honestly, that was my signature scent before it got stolen, and I've always wanted to smell like that again. So, Stronger With You. I've never had the Intensely before, but it's an EDP, so Vice and EDT. Which is the regular Stronger With You, which
EDC.
I think it was an EDT.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Quiron.
Yeah, no. So Stronger With You was an EDT, which I don't usually use because it's not as strong as EDPs, but Intensely, they've redone the fragrance, and I'm interested to check it out. But they said some of the notes.
Can you put those? Those ones, the caps come off. That's the only thing. The fragrance I've actually surprisingly worn the most of lately is this fragrance I was talking about earlier, Savage by Dyer. Like I said, it is a very unknown fragrance. It's very rare. I'm like I said, I'm one of only like 500 people that have worn or have the privilege to have Savage by Dyer. So I'm not even allowed to talk about it. Nobody knows of this fragrance or anything like that. It's very unknown, but no. Yeah, so I can't even, like I said, I can't talk about it.
Sorry, guys.
Some things I can't talk about. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't have like anything else. That's it. So yeah, those are my fragrances. That one's probably next for me to try.
Which of your atomizers are the ones that have the pressure sensitive atomizers?
So I had a bottle of another one of my favorite fragrances, which was if I can remember the damn name of it, because I'm so forgetful. It was Narciso Rodriguez for Him. Awesome rainy day fragrance that had a pressurized atomizer on it. And then Savage by Dyer, which I said I can't talk about, but that has a pressurized atomizer on it.
It's so rich. Atomizers, right?
Yeah, it's made out of diamonds. Yep. This is where I don't know what to talk about.
We have a lot of dead air. That's not good. I guess that's a rule that you can get fined for. So we can talk about other things in your room like guitar. You have a guitar back there. Talk about that.
Oh, I do. I know this is awkward. Sorry, folks. This is a newer guitar I bought. It looks like a Paul Reed Smith, but it's not. It's actually from a company called Harley Benton that makes cheap knockoff guitars based in Germany. And I heard that despite how cheap they were actually pretty decent. And this one is probably not in tune, but pretty decent.
Would you say it's a good buy for the amount of money?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was really good.
Who's the
Harley Benton.
Harley Benton?
Is there a style of fragrances you've been getting into? Yeah, yes. Good question. I used to not like green fragrances or blue fragrances like aquatics or anything super fresh. And lately I've been really getting into greener fragrances, not necessarily like I said, like bluer ones, but like kind of slightly fougere sort of fragrances. That greenness, like that's why I want to try that Patrick one and the Green Irish Tobacco one, even though it's too strong, is still pretty nice. Stuff like that. Yeah, I've been, and then actually Centauri, you probably would be interested if I can find the damn thing. This is a company called Euphorium Brooklyn, and it comes in this little fucking tiny microscopic bottle, and this smells like the forest, and it almost doesn't even smell like a cologne. It just smells like the forest. Ultra expensive, but super green and fresh.
But and I know this is his channel, so I know you're not really addressing any of these questions to me, but when I first came back to New York, East River had showed me some of his Happy Land Studios collections, fragrances, and I really like Paisley Sky. It's a sweeter fragrance though, and now his my fragrance he got me into sweeter fragrances. My favorite fragrance that he has, Happy Land Signature, right here, is like the best fragrance, and it's like another sweeter fragrance that I was never used to. I typically only wore really manly fragrances like leathery or barbershop powdery. I even stayed away from sportier fragrances, but East River got me back into the sweet fragrances. And
Centaur says he's trying more gourmands. I kind of got into gourmands too. The Happy Land one, I would consider Happy Land Signature gourmand, and then I really like Michael Jordan Legend, which is kind of a gourmand. And my favorite that I have is Cuba Prestige, which smells a lot like Angel Men. This one's so good. I love it. I haven't been wearing them as much because it's so hot out that they get harder to wear when it's hot. But I really got into gourmands. That was all I was wearing for a while.
I have a question. Since summertime and it went from snow
Within a week.
Literally
Within 1 week.
Any recommendations for more summery fragrances or considering fragrances for the summer?
Yeah. I mean, you can really wear whatever you want. I always say, and especially when people talk about like, oh, don't wear this then, don't wear this then. But it's like a lot of like, oh, this won't work in the heat. It's like, well, normally people are in air conditioning 99% of the time, so that heat's really not going to matter. It's if you're outside. But I would say probably stay away from gourmands or sweet fragrances because they'll get like really cloying and nauseating in the heat.
I see.
And things like tobacco and leather tend to get really really heady and like way too much in the heat. But it's not a hard and fast rule. Like I have worn some heavier fragrances, excuse me, in the summer, kind of in the heat, and just because of my body chemistry, they worked. Excuse me. And similarly, like a lot of citrus-based fragrances, which never really last that long, just due to the nature of it, those tend to not work as well in the winter. But I've had some citrus-based clones that, for whatever reason, were like powerhouses in the winter specifically.
Yeah, I tend to avoid ones around the winter, but I don't really like them. Really citrusy notes.
I'm starting to become more. I'm starting to like enjoy citrus and like blue clones a little bit more, but I'm still not a big fan of them.
I don't like blue.
Yeah, simple fragrance outside in the heat. That's probably even better way to say it, is like maybe trying to avoid something overly complex with a lot of notes. Something more simple might work a little bit better in the heat, just the way that like notes evaporate, and I'm not really sure why, but that's just what tends to work.
Yeah.
Citrus or simple fragrances if outside and in the heat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I actually am. Like, I work outside sometimes, and I wouldn't say that I'd be considering fragrances if I'm going to spend the whole day working outside. But
can you hand me that bag?
I actually do.
Oh no, sorry, that blue one.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Like, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna wear this fragrance because it's like 85 out today. We'll just stand outside all day and do nothing but stand out there and eat.
Oh, look what I found! A little sample of Fahrenheit. I love Fahrenheit. I have Fahrenheit Parfum somewhere right here. Yeah, Fahrenheit Parfum. Little can, which I think is. Hey, Centaur, if you're still watching, I noticed that you've been doing soap reviews more lately, which I thought was really cool because, I've always said that I love fragrances, not just colognes. And I have like a weird, even before I even got into colognes, I was really into soaps like my whole life. Like I wanted to try like if a brand came out or something, I wanted to try like every scent.
So recently you got us
oh yeah, I got this cool handmade soap company, and they had a soap called Toke, which was like a hippie soap that smelled like patchouli and vanilla and cedarwood, and it was pretty good. Sandalwood.
Which one?
It was called, I can't remember. It was like too citrusy. Yeah, he's got tons of great videos on that. Says I review all kind of smells and things. I always say all things scent related. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't get views, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm just doing it for fun. And it's all different things. Like I've reviewed diffuser oils and stuff to make your house smell good. It's just like scent related things I enjoy. And Gonzaga Fragrance says, are you aware what you want, when you want type of guy, or do you wear certain scents based on seasons? Like I had said, I I kind of stick to it only because being realistic, if you are going to be out in the heat, like if I go out kayaking or something, I'm not going to wear a strong, like heavy tobacco scent because it's just going to make me kind of sick. And certain scents definitely work better in certain seasons. So I kind of do, but I have always I don't stick to rules like some people do very intently stick to those rules. No, I mean, I sometimes I will wear things that don't particularly work in a season just because I'm like, I really want to smell that today. So you really like Oktoberfest smelling beer and oats. Oh, beer and oats. Excuse me. Yeah, there's a couple beer scented soaps that I've seen that I've never smelled because I thought that would be kind of strange if they smelled like beer. But another, yeah, one soap company that I tried that I didn't actually care for too much was Duke Cannon, which you see them advertised a lot. They're not like organic soap, like fine soap. It's got a lot of chemicals, but they're like the big gas bars of soap, and they have a lot of those. Did not those were like there was barely any scent, and they weren't very good for me. But they do have I have their aftershave. There's like menthol aftershave, and it was very good. It was a very good aftershave. I still have some. But yeah, they're super commercial. Same with Dr. Squatch, which man, Dr. Squatch. There's like a conspiratorial sort of thing about Dr. Squatch that I like went down a rabbit hole of and kind of looked into. I'm not saying that their soaps are bad, but if you want to talk about like fucking marketing, like those guys are like hitting you over the head with marketing. It's like we get it. Like every time I go on YouTube, I get a fucking ad from them. It's very like it's like I've heard that they actually I have charcoal soap. It's supposed to clean better. Yeah. I'll tell you guys about this Dr. Squatch thing though. It's interesting. If you don't know Dr. Squatch, they advertise like in every location imaginable. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you went into like the baby wing at a hospital and there were Dr. Squatch posters on the wall. They but yeah, their soaps are like really tiny, like square bars of soaps that like fall apart in the shower. And they're really good quality, but they're those like, not hard milled soaps that last like not even a week. $7 a bar. And there is a really good YouTuber called the Bar Soap Guy, and he did a series of videos where he was like, he was pretty sure, and I don't know if he proved it 100%, but it seemed really sketchy that they don't make their own soap. They're just buying them from a company called the Soap Guy, which is other soap company where you can buy soaps like in bulk. And if you go to the Soap Guy website, they look exactly the same. They have like the same flavors or same scents. It's like exactly the same. So what that's not like illegal, like a lot of companies do that, but it was just the fact that like it seemed really sketchy. Like they were just, we have these really good soaps, and it's like they were just buying them and then charging like way more money for them.
It's kind of
and they also like he was like trying to like get a hold of people that work at the company and like trying to find out where it was like really interesting, and like no one would respond to comment. And they have like an F on the Better, sorry, I'm sitting all weird, they have an F on the Better Business Bureau because of like a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, this company, I looked it up and I was like, I even remembered that I had found the company before Dr. Squatch and the soaps, because I was just looking for soaps, and it wasn't that expensive. I think if you broke the cost down, it was like $3 a bar of soap or something. And then when I saw his video, and I was like, oh wait, and you go back and you're like, that's the same fucking soap that they're using. So I'm like 90% sure that they're just repackaging the soap and selling it at a way higher cost, which again I don't think is illegal, but is so sketchy.
no, it's
Is it? I don't know. It's like wicked sketchy, dude.
It's the project for
Mhm.
like retail stuff, and all of this is so your website buy stuff from other websites for really cheap that you know about that other people don't know about,
Mm.
and then so your website sells it for $80, another website might sell it for 70, but if they buy it from your website, you get that $10 just for them buying it, and then you can advertise the crap out of your website and make more money. And
Oh,
what
okay.
that does is it circumvents tax because tax, and
Mhm.
it's basically that's what it is.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why they haven't.
They have a lot of complaints from customer service and stuff like that. I just thought it was interesting because I was like, that's super shady, and like their marketing is so like extreme, like not in just like how much they're like hit, like I said, they hit you over the head with their marketing, and like they really have a good marketing team because they found a niche, and like they're really popular. Like that dude who started that company has made millions of dollars from that company. Yeah, Dr. Squatch.
It's just some dude. I'm gonna buy it and sell it.
Well, I'm sure that they like no, they like have they're like totally corporate now, but
It's bigger now, but I mean that's much stuff like
it is, yeah. And I don't know, it's just the whole like it was the whole like word like if they like they found a niche. So all right, guys, I got to get going. But that was interesting. Please don't come and kill me, Dr. Squatch. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming by and watching me review like all 60 of my fragrances.
Nice meeting you.
This is Mike.
Mike.
I'll be back soon with a review on something. He is coming.
I'm not.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, thanks for 200 subscribers, guys. I will see you soon. Peace out. Bye.